On this channel, I explore Canada and investigate its culture. This time I took my questions to the street. Or the park, actually. What is the most Canadian thing you can think of?
The beaver.
Oh, hockey. Definitely hockey.
I think the nature Canada has to offer, like the Rocky Mountains, or oceans, or coastlines.
Hockey, maple syrup.
Well, politeness.
Maple syrup.
What is that, stereotyped?
Yeah, of course.
That's all my answers would be. Maple syrup, hockey,
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons. I feel like that's actually
These
a
are
big
all like
one.
symbols. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most common misconception people have about Canada?
That it's always cold.
I mean, our accents and how we say words.
That we're all nice.
Everyone talks with like a heavy Canadian accent.
If you look at the States and how like they'll kind of like, I say, make fun of our accents, I don't think we have that big of an accent like difference.
For the most part, you can't tell, I don't think, if someone is Canadian by, like if you listen to the average Canadian and the average American, you usually, I don't think, can differentiate the two unless they're like, deep Newfoundland or like, Alberta or something. Like there's some accents there, but that's definitely a stereotype.
I can remember cars coming up from the States for summer classes at the end of May, and they had ski racks on the roof. And you staying here all year? No, just came up for the summer, figured I'd get some weekend skiing in. Not likely in July.
Sometimes they're nice up front, but behind your back they're like little tiny rats just talking bad about you. But for the most part, people are nice, but not everybody's nice. And not everybody likes hockey, not everybody likes poutine. Yeah, there's stereotypes for Canadians and it's not always true.
What would make a Canadian feel uncomfortable?
Boundaries communicated straightforwardly. That's something I notice in my own life and in work as well. To just, if someone asks a question and I or someone else wants to say no to that request, I don't feel like I can say that without people going like it's a little bit too straightforward.
Let's say there's an issue. I feel that if you try to talk with the people face to face, I notice that most of people, that makes them uncomfortable.
Most Canadians don't like extreme points of view. Way to the left, way to the right are both worrisome.
A lack of democracy, I think, and people trying to control your emotions, your feelings, just taking away our freedom, per se.
Telling him you can't apologize for anything.
That's true. Because then when you say don't apologize, I find I automatically apologize for apologizing.
Probably, confrontation, infringement on freedom. Certainly that is something that is very uncomfortable because that's something that's so incredibly unfelt by, I would say, the general public up until recently. So, there's certainly a huge level of discomfort associated with that because it's just so unprecedented to anyone that's alive today or my age,
I'm sure you know Canada is quite a big country and there's so much open space here that to be confined to a very small area, which we actually did. We lived in Europe twice and it's very crowded. I think most Canadians like the openness.
If you moved away from Canada, what would you miss the most?
Family, the greatness. Every coast you can travel to, everything is different. Each province has something different to offer to somebody. Yeah, I would miss every little aspect of it, whether it's the food, the culture, diversity. It's just a very unique country.
I would miss the sense of community, that people are not worried about your intentions if you walk up and talk to them, or people come and talk to you, and this little chit-chat kind of everyday talk.
I find people really polite, so I think it's that depending on where you would move to, if people are more like abrupt and kind of rude, I guess, or like what I would consider rude. I think that would be something I'd miss, is like the friendliness and just being able to start a conversation with someone out of nowhere.
Yeah. I think I'd miss like areas like this. So if you'd move, it depends where you move obviously, but if you'd go to somewhere like New York or somewhere more dense, like having an open nature area like this is a lot less common. Whereas in Canada, pretty much anywhere you go, there's always like dedicated nature parks. So I think it's a nice thing to have.
Is there anything that Canada has that other countries lack?
Water, space.
I wouldn't say public health care, because lots of countries have that. No, I think a lot of countries have diversity now, so it's a good question.
One thing that's cool about Canada is like multicultural. There's a lot of different cultures. This depends on which province you are, but there's a lot of different cultures in each province, whereas maybe in some countries there isn't. So if you take like Toronto and you look at like the population there, it's very diverse. It's not just a majority of one and then like a few percentages of different cultures. So I think that's something that's cool about Canada.
Some countries have a much wider capability to accept other than Canada, but we're pretty good.
Is there anything that Canada could do better?
Be more open. Be more open in the society. As I say, be more, so like just a little bit loose, like a more relaxed.
Yes, the whole electronic services, or not having to call phone calls when you need to talk to authorities, and the fax machines and all of that kind of technology piece.
We talk about going green a lot better than we're actually achieving. I'm sure we could do more in the world of foreign aid.
Open up their immigration laws, make them a little easier for people that are trying to flee from oppression.
But then also the racism would be nice to maybe have a little bit less of. The colonialism piece seems to be still going strong, and that it's good that people are addressing it, but maybe residential schools and so on needs to be looked at a little bit more thoroughly to kind of repair what's been done to people in the past.
Try not to suppress your opinions and emotions to upset other people. Like, I know everybody has a different opinion, especially right now with like the Freedom Convoy. Canada is very divided on a lot of things right now, and I think sometimes you just need to speak rather than suppress your opinions and stuff to prevent people from being hurt. Sometimes you just need to be open and honest, and I feel like in Canada it's suppressed a lot of the time.
Do Canadians actually use the phrase "eh"?
Absolutely.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yep.
I
Oh,
say
yeah.
that all the time.
You say A for looking agreement, or A, what did you just say, or like saying something's nice. It covers a whole lot of different territories without wasting a whole lot of time talking.
I'm from a small town, so we use that quite a lot, so it's a great day, eh?
It's after a question. It's like, oh, the weather's nice, eh? Like, I don't know, it just comes so naturally. You don't notice yourself doing it, but yes, Canadians definitely use A.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, they do. But usually when you say A, the Americans, because they're our closest neighbor, will say B.
To everyone participating in this video, I just want to say this couldn't have been done without you, so thank you. If you are curious about other investigations I have done about Canada, I can recommend you watching these videos. Until next time.